Everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I am just getting my Zoom controls back up. It's always so funny when you share your screen, it changes the way everything looks. There's the chat. Okay. So I'm hoping that this will be a session where we can kind of talk back and forth with one another. So if you have a question, please feel free to pop it in the Q&A, and I'll try and stop as I go along and answer them live via voice on the chat. But so this is my presentation on If We Pay Them, Will They Come? An online, an incentive program for faculty development in online teaching. So a little bit about me. I am the Director of Academic Innovation for the Dornsife School of Public Health. I sit in the Office of Academic Affairs and oversee our online learning programs. I work with faculty to develop online courses and programs, and I also consult with departments on assessment, accreditation, and curriculum development. I earned my master's from Drexel University in Human Resource Development, and I'm currently pursuing my EDD in Educational Leadership and Management. And so the first thing I wanted to do today was just kind of find out who's in the audience. So if you could just pop in the chat, who here is an instructional designer? Or you can raise your hand on the attendees list, but I don't think that you guys can see each other raising your hands. So I got one ID raising their hand. Oh, here's another ID. Okay, who here is a faculty member? Okay, a bunch of faculty, awesome, awesome. And then who here is an administrator? Admin and ID. I hear that role. Okay, great, thanks. It's always nice to know who everybody is. So like I said, I work for the Dornsife School of Public Health. We were founded in 1996. And our mission is to provide education, conduct research, and partner with community organizations to improve health in populations. So like many of you, we're seeing declines in our enrollment. And currently the majority of our programs are offered as face-to-face, full-time, daytime cohort programs, which really isn't very flexible, right? You have to do that. You can't work a normal 9-to-5 job. You have to either quit your job or work odd hours or part-time. You know, often you have to move to a new city. And so we were just kind of over time slowly seeing the decline in the enrollment in that program, and doing research into where the market's going, we realized that we needed to become increasingly flexible. So we wanted to increase our online offerings. But we had a little bit of a chicken and an egg issue, which is, if we have no faculty who have expertise in online teaching and course design, as a result, we don't have a lot of online courses. But then when we would look at developing an online program, our online course offering was very small. And so it was like such a heavy lift to develop an online program because we had to build all these courses. And so it just kind of kept on getting stalled out and stalled out and stalled out and stalled out. But we did finally, convince everyone and submit a proposal to launch our first fully online master's degree, which we'll be launching this fall. And so in doing that, we had to build a bunch of online courses, and we wanted to beef up our faculty's expertise and comfortability in online learning. Okay, so why did we want to do this? Like I said, we wanted to increase the flexibility for our students. A lot of them work. A lot of them, we have a lot of electives, and we got a lot of feedback from students that all of the electives were offered at the same time because everybody wants to teach between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. And so we really wanted to, so online classes allow greater flexibility because there's no specific time restraint. So our goal was to increase the number of course sections that we offer to 30% of all sections taught. We thought that that would give us a good base for our online masters, and also a good portion of faculty who are comfortable in online teaching. We wanted to train our faculty in online course design and pedagogy. And we wanted 50% of our faculty to participate in the training. And so obviously the reason we wanted to train faculty in online course design and pedagogy is because we wanted them to feel comfortable designing and teaching in the online space. But also some research has shown that faculty have reported that when they participated in an online training about online teaching, they actually were able to use that information they gained in their regular face-to-face teaching. So it kind of felt like a win-win to us. And then we wanted 50% participation in training because that seemed like hopefully an achievable number, but would still kind of get us a critical mass of faculty who were more comfortable with the idea of doing an online program. Okay, so where we started. So in 2016, 2017, 18% of our online courses were offered online. In 2017, 2018, it was the same number. We had not moved at all, which was a little disappointing. And then in 2016, when I started doing instructional design for our school, I started offering a workshop for our faculty on our LMS, which is Blackboard, and then also just on general instructional design, online pedagogy kind of topics. The first year I did it, we did okay. We had 26% people participate. The next year it was only 18%. So we went the wrong direction, which was a little disappointing. And these workshops were in person, but we did have the option to Zoom in online. So the problem that we wanted to address was, how do we incentivize faculty to participate in these trainings? And this is a little bit, okay, so I got a question. Is the 18% above, beyond the 26%? No, it was actually a drop in participation. So in 2016-17, 26% of our faculty participated. In 2017-2018, only 18% total participated. And we didn't have a large number of people like join to mess with those numbers. Our faculty probably grew a little bit, but the 26 would not participate the next year. Some of those 26 also are also in the 18. It's not unique to each year. Does that make sense? So what we wanted to address was how to incentivize faculty to participate in training. And this is a little different than an incentive for performance, which I think some K-12 do for teachers based on the performance of their students, and some corporations do. This had nothing to do with how well they performed afterwards. It was literally like, come to the training. So this was our idea. We wanted to take my existing workshop structure, enhance it with some additional options, and then faculty would be rewarded with points for attending certain activities. Again, they didn't have to do anything else. They just had to show up to the trainings, and they could earn up to 500 points. Now, each point translated into $1. And this actually was based off of the wellness program we do at our university, where if you do certain activities or workshops, you get points and you get up to a certain number of points paid out to you. So they could earn up to 500 points, and it would all get paid out at the end of the academic year. So my boss and I put this proposal together. We proposed it to our dean. She said, sounds great, let's roll it out and see what happens. So the program had 4 components to it. There was, you could do a certificate in online teaching, which would earn you 100 to 200 points, depending on which one you did. There were a number of Drexel University Online workshops. Drexel University Online is Drexel's in-house instructional design and multimedia team. They work with all the different academic units to develop online courses and programs. We work with them a lot, and they offer some really great trainings. Then there were the internal workshops that I had been doing for our faculty, and finally, Blackboard training. So for the certificates, there were 3 that we offered for folks to do where they could earn points. The first one, and the one that I really tried to get everybody to do, was the Quality Matters one, which was about 11 weeks total, 7 workshops that were 1 to 2 weeks each. And that one cost, I think, around, at the time, it cost around $1,100. And the one caveat with these trainings for the faculty as well, they did get paid the incentive to do these. They had to use departmental funds to actually pay for the workshop. So my office was not paying the admission fee for people to do this workshop. I did get some pushback on that because people were like, well, why would I pay $1,100 to get 100? But my response was, well, your department's paying that money, and then you get $100 that you can spend on ice cream. So it kind of helped explain it to people a little bit better. The next one was Rutgers University, which is near us in New Jersey. We're in Philadelphia. They had one similar price range. That was a 20-week time commitment for workshops that were 5 weeks long. And then the third one we identified was the Central Michigan Certificate in Online Instruction, which you only got 100 points for because it was only a 4-week commitment, but it also only cost $300. And then we also, my office was also able to provide up to 3 scholarships for someone to do the Central Michigan workshop if they approached us about that. Next was the Drexel University online workshops. So as I said, Drexel University Online is our in-house instructional design and multimedia team. They are amazing, and my job would be impossible without them. They do 3 workshops that are free to us as faculty and staff, although I know there are costs associated for them to do them. The first one is APPQMR, which I call Intro to Quality Matters for my faculty, because when I say APPQMR, they kind of look at me like, what is she talking about? She's gone crazy. That one they got 50 points for doing because I am a huge fan of APPQMR, and I think that it provides such an amazing foundational learning experience in instructional design. The next was some of Drexel's faculty who are experts in online teaching got together and developed with Drexel University Online 2 courses. One is Essentials for Online Teaching, which kind of just introduces faculty to the practice of teaching online. It's not so much about course design, although they did a great job of infusing a lot of QM and instructional design in that, but it's really focused on how you teach and facilitate online. And then the next one was Advanced Pedagogy and Instructional Design. Similar thing, designed and taught by Drexel faculty, and really designed for faculty members to get them comfortable in the online setting, the online classroom. And so they could get 50 for APPQMR and then 25 for the other 2. Okay, and then there were the DSPH internal workshops. So the first one is Blackboard orientation. Blackboard's our LMS, and in addition to helping design courses for our school, I'm also our node admin in Blackboard, so I can hop into any course and do a lot of troubleshooting. And a lot of what I was doing was like one-off just-in-time trainings of like, how do I add a test again? How do I add a discussion board again? How do I add an item again? So I created an orientation for our faculty, which is basically a bunch of short videos of me screen sharing how to do like basic tasks in Blackboard. For the fancy stuff, I still send folks to our instructional technology team, but they like a person they know and a face they've seen before, so they often come to me first. So this has been a great way for me just to say, watch this video, it shows you how to do this. So I put it all together in one Blackboard shell, and the faculty went through the whole thing, and then they did a little survey for every module they completed, then they would get 50 points. Excuse me. The next was workshops around online pedagogy and Blackboard. So these were the workshops that I had been doing where I had like 26% participation and 18% participation. So somebody asked, why would I make Blackboard videos? Doesn't Blackboard do that already? They do. They do. I personally found the Blackboard video, like the Blackboard help navigation, to be a little overwhelming. When I look for help, it's like so much information that's kind of drinking out of the fire hose. And so what I created were really like very succinct, very specific to School of Public Health faculty trainings. And I mean, I probably did reinvent the wheel a little bit with these, but I spent a lot of time looking on YouTube and the Blackboard help pages, and I wasn't finding exactly what I wanted. So then the third thing that we did was we created an affinity group for faculty who are thinking about, who are already teaching online. And we tried to do online community lunches where folks would come together, a brown bag, bring your own lunch. And we set those up in a bitch, brag, brain format. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but you're supposed to come with a problem, something you're proud of, or an idea that you're trying to solve. And these were faculty led. So each lunch I had a different faculty member who was coming with an idea or something to solve. Okay, so the question is, did this work? Was this successful? So why don't you, if you throw in the chat or raise your hand if you think it worked, if you think we achieved our goals. So a couple of hands are being raised, 3. Okay, so the answer is no, it did not work. We did not achieve our goals. People did not want to get paid ice cream money to do this stuff. So our number of participants did go up. We went up to 35%, but we did not hit the 50% that we wanted. Additionally, the number of people in each individual workshop was really small. It was like 3 to 5 people per workshop. And so that was really hard because it wasn't just me doing the instruction. I was inviting external faculty or the instructional designers from Duo to come over to our building and like dedicate an hour to these workshops. And so it was really hard when you had like 1 or 2 people in the room for a workshop. Additionally, we only had 1 person take us up on the online certificate in online teaching, and that person got a scholarship to do it. So no one was willing to spend any of their professional development money or department money or discretionary funds on this. And then we only had 3 people do the Drexel University online workshops. And those were the real big, payouts to do the certificate or the Duo workshops. Everything else was like 10 points. So it was kind of very low amount of money people were getting. We did ask people, will you use the information in your teaching? And that was very positive. So the people who did attend the workshops really enjoyed them and found them useful. But as you can see, there like this very, very, very low response rate to our survey. Like the N is 7. So it's not meaningful data. Like it was nice for me to hear that the people who responded liked it, but it was not anything that was really meaningful in terms of, moving forward with the program. Did the workshops meet your expectation? Again, they did. People really liked the workshops. They found them useful, but the attendance rate was so low that this isn't that meaningful of data, and it's a lot of effort to put these together for such a small participation. The last one, which was one that I was really interested in, was, did the incentive program increase your attendance? So in that, 63% of people actually did agree that it increased their attendance, which like, oh, that sounds kind of good. But that was only out of 8 people. So like 63% of 8, I'm not great at math, that's like 5 people. It was not the big shift that we needed it to be. So like I said, their major limitations on this program are really that only 35% of faculty participated in the incentive program, and then only 30% of those who participated responded to the survey. So I presented on this back in October at the QM National Conference. And when I submitted my proposal to present that, I did not know this program was going to fail. But what I said that I was going to do is I was going to continue to offer the same professional development workshops that I had been doing. I wanted to develop a peer evaluation of teaching program for our school. I wanted to start presenting at existing meetings, and I was going to hold Blackboard office hours where instead of saying that we were going to do a specific training on like how to use the Grade Center, it would just be like, come and ask any questions that you had. So in the past 6 months, I have stopped holding the workshops. People were not coming at all, like no one. I would just sit in an empty conference room. So we're trying to leverage university level resources instead of doing in-house workshops. And they provide those trainings for us. We had thought we're a pretty spread out campus, and our faculty don't always love to leave the building. So we had thought that doing trainings physically in our building would get more people to attend, but that was not the case. I have developed, or I'm in the process of developing, a peer evaluation of teaching program with our faculty. I've done a bunch of literature review on that, and that is going through our process to move forward. We hope to pilot that in the fall. I have presented at existing meetings. That works really well because they're already there. And so it's a captive audience. And I've been trying to do like 5-10 minute micro learn on a particular topic, not like a Blackboard training, but on just, you know, like I did one on Zoom for people when we moved to remote instruction, things like that. And the last thing is the Blackboard office hours. Stopped doing them because, again, it was just me sitting in an empty conference room, you know, doing work on my laptop. What I have done and continue to do is a ton of just-in-time training with folks, and just trying to be available for meetings or phone calls when they need them versus setting up a specific time for people to come. It just works out better for folks who are so busy to have, to be able to just come to me when they need me, rather than have a specific time that I'm available. So I will say that this move to remote instruction has made me think a little bit differently about this program than I had thought about it when we first did it and it didn't work the way I wanted. We already had a lot of resources developed. So when we had to move so quickly to remote instruction, I already had my Blackboard orientation set up for faculty. And so I was able to put together a crosswalk of like what you would do at a face-to-face class, how you might do it remotely, and then here's a tool you can use to do it, and here's a video on how to use that tool. And that has been wildly successful, and I think really from an instructional designer standpoint, reduced like the number of calls that I've gotten, which I love. I love getting phone calls from our faculty, but we had to put 35 classes online in 2 weeks, remote, not online. And that was kind of a crazy human lift. And some of our faculty were already trained in online instruction. So, you know, they were okay with, they were like, okay, I know how to do this. They were willing to mentor their peers in moving to remote instruction. So that was great. And then the other thing was that because we've been kind of beating the online drum for a while now, it wasn't a totally foreign concept to all of our faculty, even those who I know will never teach online because that's not what they want to do, which is fine. But so when we were like, you have to teach remotely, they didn't totally lose their minds. Like people were pretty calm about the whole process. So that's my presentation. I am notoriously short-winded, so we've got a bunch of time for Q&A. If anybody wants to pop any questions in the Q&A, I'm happy to answer them. Oh, so someone put in the chat, you answered my question about the BB office hours. I was considering that too. Yeah, I thought it would be successful, but no, people did not want to do that. Okay, so do I have any thoughts on what I might try next to engage faculty? Well, yes and no. So we are launching our first fully online master's degree this fall, and it actually ballooned. So now it's 3 or 4 different degrees that kind of all got put together in the last year. So I have a lot of faculty who were voluntold they're teaching in the online master's program. And so just out of sheer like desperation, they've had to work with me because they're teaching online whether or not they wanted to, which is maybe not the best way to go about it. But yes, so I've had a lot of people beating down my door saying, okay, I agreed to teach online, next year. Like, what do I do now? What do I plan to do next when returning to regular operations? I don't know. I mean, the peer evaluation of teaching program is one that I'm really excited about because I think that it will be helpful for folks, both just like have somebody kind of give them feedback who's a peer, but also I found that when you evaluate something, it makes you better at that thing yourself. So I think the faculty, so I'm hoping it won't just be like senior faculty evaluating junior faculty. I'm hoping that it'll be much more flat and that junior faculty can be on the evaluation side as well as on the evaluated side, because when you look at something from that angle, you tend to get better at doing it yourself. I don't think I'm going to go back to holding workshops like I was doing. The only thing I might do is I also we have a public health workforce development grant, and I've been doing these micro learns for them, like 10-minute, like really small bite-sized pieces of instructional design. And I'm doing that series for them again next year. And so I might try and promote that more within our faculty and see if they're interested in doing something like that for like 10 minutes. Our faculty were very resistant to my doing any training for them online. Like they wanted training in person. They would also tell me, I really wish you had a training on Blackboard like the day after I had a training that no one came to. And again, like with teaching schedules, sometimes people just legit couldn't come because they were teaching at that time. Would I consider holding online Blackboard office hours? Sure, yeah. I mean, I'm definitely willing to try it. I'm willing to try anything. It might work. I just have to see how it went. Sheer desperation is always a good motivator. Yes, it is. Oh, sure, the crosswalk. So actually, I wonder if I can pull it up really fast. It's basically, it's a Excel spreadsheet. I cannot talk and move things around on my computer at the same time. Crosswalk. Stop share. Start share. Crosswalk. Okay, so this is the crosswalk. So it's very simple. Somebody throw something in the Q&A if you can't see it, or in the chat. But so basically, in class discussion, you could do a discussion board, you could do a voice thread, you could use Blackboard Collaborate. These are very specific to our tools in our school. And then the modality, so these two are asynchronous, this one is synchronous. And then these are my videos with a link to a video, and we have Kaltura Media. So I put everything in there, captioned, and then the video length, time, and sometimes there's more than one how-to video. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. Can you see this thank you slide now? Oh, I lost it.
No, we still see your Excel spreadsheet.
You still see Excel, okay.
Yes.
I've got like 15 windows open now. Hang on, stop there. I think I actually need 3 monitors to do Zoom presentations. Okay. Did I get a lot of participation from adjuncts? No, so this was only for full-time faculty at our school, not for our adjuncts. We don't use a ton of adjuncts at our school, but yeah, the dean only approved it for full-time faculty. Have I surveyed them? No, I have not. Well, I have not directly surveyed the faculty on what would motivate them to participate in faculty development. I think the university has. I've had a lot of informal conversations with people, and the short answer was what would get what would get them to teach online, and they said like workload release to develop online classes, and I pitched that to the dean, and she was like, no, we can't afford that. So that's the thing that most people would want, but I don't have the power to grant that, unfortunately. Um, So if nobody else has any other questions, I think we can all go have an early coffee break before the next session. And my contact information should be up. So if you want to ask me anything offline or something, you know, comes to you after the fact, please feel free to email me. I'm happy to talk to you further that way.
I want to thank you, Melissa, for presenting today. I know this is a different modality than what you thought when you put the presentation together, but thank you very much. And I want to thank everybody for attending, and we will have a little bit of break between our next session.
Okay, thank you.